So we touched on some excellent points, the right way to start screenwriting. Let's talk about the wrong way to start.
Oh, that's the question?
Yeah, that's the question. Sorry,
I think
I stopped short there.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think the wrong way to start is just assuming you know how this thing works, right? Assuming that you know what screenwriting is, and so you don't have to do any research, that you don't have to try to hone your craft in any way, that you don't have to read any screenplays, that you can just wake up and write, right? And even though I said earlier, writing is a part of it, right? That's the first thing you want to do. You want to start getting your ideas out to see what they are, right? But then to assume that that's all it takes is the wrong place to start. It's also the wrong place to start to assume that you don't have to know anything about the business, right? As writers, you're your own advocate. You are your business and you're walking into a business. So as much as it's creative, there's also the business part of it. And so you can have the best screenplays out there, but if you don't know how to play this game of getting into the business, then you're not going to be in the right mindset of it. And also assuming that you're just going to be able to jump right in, right? There's no putting in the midnight oil, you know what I mean? Of realizing that this is a long game. This Hollywood thing is a long game. So going back to that networking across thing, right? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, all of those people are going to be in different places, not 2 days from now. So the same thing is true with your writing. It's a process. So going back to knowing the business, realizing that I can write a screenplay today and it might not get made until 7 years from now, right? So realizing that it's not a quick thing. It's not an in and out, kind of machine, which is why you have to ask yourself, what is it that I want from this? What is my end goal? Am I trying to be a professional writer? Am I just trying to get this one thing done? And if it's only that one thing, do I really want to put the time and energy into doing it? Another place that you shouldn't start from is thinking that the writer has total creative control, right? This is a collaborative effort, filmmaking is. So realizing that there will always be someone critiquing your work. Always, 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 always. And then learning how to separate yourself from that so you aren't taking it personally. A no to your work is not a no to you as a person. Like take that in, breathe it, understand it. That no to your work may mean this is not the right work for our company. It may mean this is not what we're looking for right now. It may mean there's growth necessary on your part. That's good information to hear. You want to hear, great, I need to grow because now you know what to work towards versus not hearing anything at all, because that happens in Hollywood too, where people just don't respond to you at all. You don't get anything, right? But getting that no tells you, I now am open to try to sell this somewhere else. This wasn't the right fit for it, and getting that information. So I know a lot of people say you need tough skin when you come into this industry. And yes, that may be true. But if you can learn how to disconnect from your work equaling your worth, right? Then the tough skin is not necessary as much because you know that they're not critiquing you. Right? They're talking about what's on the page. And when someone else develops it or someone else purchases it, they're now trying to get it to fit the mold of their brand, which is why you have to do your research in the first place to ask yourself, is this the best place for my baby? Is this the best place for my story, right? If you decide to pitch something to NBC, it's got to feel like NBC. So that means the executives are going to mold it into NBC. That means they might trim some of the stuff that you think is very important. It may mean that they're going to add some stuff that you never thought about that's going to make this the best show to ever hit television. So you have to be open to that collaborative process. So I think those 3 or 4 things are really important, that if you're not understanding that, you're starting off in the wrong place.
Can you have thick skin, tough skin, and not be callous?
Yes, I think so. I think that thick skin that people are talking about is being able to receive feedback, not take it personally, and then therefore not react from an emotional place and start to burn bridges. With that being said, there are plenty of callous people in the industry. A lot of the people who tell people they need to have tough skin don't have tough skin themselves. Right? Everyone is sensitive, and in the world that we live in right now, everyone is sensitive. And then you come into an industry where we are creating things. And like Erykah Badu said, people are sensitive about their stuff, right? So I think that thick skin just really comes from a place of understanding that this is not about you and it's about the work and the stuff. But you are going to deal with all kinds of different personalities, just like you would in any kind of industry. There are people who are not so nice here, right? There are people who are rude here. And then there are people who aren't. And there are people who want to help you. And there are people who want you to grow. But at the end of the day, you're still going to hear no more than you hear yes, right? Someone does have to approve and accept and affirm the thing that you're giving to them. And oftentimes, you're not going to hear the thing you wanted to hear. And if you don't know how to disconnect, if you don't know how to grow that tough skin that they say, then it can start to chip away at who you are, right? And that should not be the end goal. So yeah, I think you can definitely have tough skin and not end up being a callous person. But it takes work. It takes work.
And then you also said not knowing the industry. So if I want to jump in, one of the wrong ways is to not do research on the industry and who I'm pitching and different things like that. Mm-hmm. What if I say, you know what, I'm just really good at winging it. I've always been good at sports. I can fit into any room. I'm a chameleon in some ways. I don't really need, I can just get me there and I'll know who's in charge.
Yeah.
I have a radar for that.
Do it. Try it out, because at the end of the day, no one has the same true Hollywood story. Right? Everyone gets into this industry in a different way. So if that's your strong suit, getting into the room and selling yourself, the hard part is getting into the room, right? When you get in there, let your personality shine, do the thing that works for you, because 9 times out of 10, if that works for you in other places, it'll work for you here. As long as whatever it is you're saying can actually be backed up by what's on the page. A lot of people think what's on the page is fantastic and wonderful, and it just isn't, right? So now you went into the room and you oversold, right? You went into the room and you said, I have this thing. And then we read this thing and it's like, no, you don't, right? So making sure that you're not going to oversell, because now people are going to remember that and you may not be able to get into the room the next time. But other than that, if you're a wing it kind of person, wing it. The question is, how do you get in the room in the first place in order to wing it? That's why you have to know about the industry.
Do you ever see that where someone who's kind of underconfident, they actually have really excellent work?
Yeah.
And it's the ones that are like beating the chest and you just gotta see. And it's like, might not be there yet.
Almost always. It's almost always that. And I say almost because there are outliers, but it's almost always that. Usually the people, the more introverted, I'm not really sure, what's happening here. You read their stuff and it's like, you got something here. You can be confident about that. And then it's the people who say, I know I have this thing. You read it and it's like, you don't know how to format a scene heading. So no, you don't have this thing, quite yet. So yes, it happens all the time. And this is not necessarily an industry that expects people to be humble. You know what I mean? So I don't mock them for being overconfident.
Sure.
However, that thing on the page is what represents you, period. It doesn't matter what's coming out of your mouth. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to back it up, which is why I said earlier, you need that other set of eyes. You need someone you can trust on your team. As a script consultant, that's what I become. I become a part of your team. Everybody needs a script consultant, even if they don't know that we exist, right? But once you find someone, you need someone who can objectively look at your stuff and let you know if you're doing the thing you intend to do, good or bad. Right? And if we don't have those checks and balances, then all we have is our own confidence. All we have is our own ego. And you can sometimes oversell what you have going on. But I don't think your overconfidence is bad. You know what I mean? So, I would rather that than you falling apart because you get a no. You know what I mean? But really trying to make sure that whatever it is you're selling can be seen on the page is the most important thing. There are plenty of people walking around Hollywood with egos. We have a lot of those. So I'm not going to say you can't have an ego. Sure you can. You know what I mean? But you got to be able to back it up.
But what if I say, though, what, I ran this by my brother-in-law and he owns his own company and this guy, he knows his stuff. So it's already good. I already know that.
Yeah. Does he know screenwriting?
No, but he's built a business and he's very successful.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm always going to say, try it. Try it. Go with it. Send your screenplay to one of these script coverage companies. Send your screenplay to me. Send it to a competition. Send it to a film festival and see what happens, right? Because maybe you're right. I'm not going to say that you don't have natural talent. I have natural talent, right? I've sent screenplays out that haven't been looked at, by other people, and they've done decently well. So I can't say that That won't happen for another person. But at the end of the day, you want someone who understands not only the industry, but also understands writing, understands the medium of screenplays so that they can give you actual criticism and critique. If not, then it's just opinion, right? Like you can have your mom or your dad or your brother read as much as you want. They'll like it or won't like it, but can they tell you why? Can they tell you how to fix things, or are they just giving more opinion? And everybody out there has got an opinion. It doesn't mean that it's going to make your story better. So if you feel that you don't need another set of eyes, totally fine. Put it out into the universe and see if you get what you need in return. And if you don't, then you'll have to change your tactic, just like your characters have to do, when they aren't getting the things that they need.